You are Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I'm not even going to lie, y'all. I did not see that one coming. As the Denver Nuggets, I thought it might have a chance to be a competitive game, to be completely honest with you. I didn't have the Nuggets, granted at home. I did not see them taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder after what the Thunder did to them on opening night in this very building about a couple of weeks ago, and taking care of business in very impressive fashion. No Jamal Murray, no Aaron Gordon, no Michael Porter Jr. for what felt like a half before he popped off in the second half. And all in all, a win is a win for the Denver Nuggets as they get the job done today here at Ball Arena. Your final score, 124-122. What a gutsy performance from the Denver Nuggets. A big-time win, their best win of the season without a doubt. I know we've had a couple of overtime games already against Toronto, against Brooklyn, but this is one of, if not the best team in the NBA right now. They were undefeated, were the Thunder coming into this matchup tonight. Cleveland's obviously undefeated still in the Eastern Conference as well, but everybody's pick of the West, it seemed like coming into the year or so far throughout the first couple of weeks of the basketball season has been the Oklahoma City Thunder. And to see Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook, who we'll talk about a lot throughout the course of this show, do what they needed to do, that is impressive. That was a very, very, very impressive win for the Denver Nuggets. So welcome on in to your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everybody, I'm imagining everyone's doing pretty well out there as the Denver Nuggets get the job done here tonight at Ball Arena, as I mentioned. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys can follow me on social media at Media by AP. And I got a new, I'm hardwired into the Wi-Fi here at Ball Arena because I know the last time I did a show for Ball Arena, thought it came out a little bit fuzzy. So drop a comment. Let me know if it's all coming through clear. I spent some good money on this adapter, so I'm hoping that it is. But, man, so much to break down tonight. Again, do me that favor. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets, Buffs, Broncos, and Rockies postcast, all hosted by yours truly. But let's kind of set the scene here tonight. So, I get here about an hour before the game, right? I get a bite to eat. I'm still sipping on this Dr. Pepper. And, usually there's like a round table that happens before the game with a lot of the local media members, right? People talking different things, whatever it might be. And, I'm talking to some of the media members, and I think the consensus is they're going to get waxed tonight. That's the consensus, is that Denver is just not going to win this basketball game. Like that, it's probably going to be ugly. Oklahoma City was a 7-point favorite entering into this matchup tonight against the Nuggets. I think the silver lining would have been if Denver was able to put up a fight. And, I even talked about it with Ryan Blackburn yesterday on the phone. I was like, how you feel about this OKC game? Who is this? I think this is Peyton Watson. Or no, this is an adult league. Sorry, I thought there was a Nuggets player getting some shots up after the game. That's the beauty. I wish I could turn my camera around and show you guys the view that I have here from Ball Arena, but I've got a bird's eye view of the court. But anyway, so we enter into the expectation that tonight's game is probably not going to go so well, right? Like I said, no Aaron Gordon, which is a big blow. No Jamal Murray, although he was looking pretty active there in the shoot-around earlier this morning from what I saw on social media. And Malone ends up tossing out a starting lineup that includes a couple of the young guys and a veteran, Russell Westbrook. I mean, the only two starters that have been, well, I guess Christian Braun, if you want to lump him in there, but, 3 of their 5 typical starters so far this season. Nikola Jokic, of course, the reigning MVP, the 3-time MVP, Michael Porter Jr., and Christian Braun. So those are your 3 kind of traditional starters, which makes the bench extra thin. 19 minutes tonight for Hunter Tyson, 27 minutes off the bench for Julian Strawther. But Peyton Watson steps up in that starting 4 role, and Russell Westbrook steps up in that starting point guard role. And just so much to talk about Russ. Russ deserves his own segment. So I'm going to save a lot of the Russ stats for the second segment because that's how impactful he was in this game here tonight. But it was a slow start for Michael Porter Jr., but the rest of the guys kind of caught fire as the game went along. Everybody made some contributions at some point or another in this game. And I'm not going to lie, after the third quarter here, Denver just blitzed them in the third quarter, outscored Oklahoma City 40-29 in that period. I was sitting like, all right, like this is cute. Right? Like this was kind of my overall reaction to the game so far. Is like Denver, they're putting up a fight. Wow, like this is awesome. Like good for them for showing some fight. All things considered, without being without Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray. It wasn't until about midway through the fourth quarter when this Nuggets offense just absolutely exploded for point after bucket after bucket after bucket. MPJ, boom. Julian Strawther, kind of the basket, boom. Russell Westbrook off the bench. Peyton Watson hitting some three-point shots. I was like, wow, maybe there's an upset in the works. Maybe Calvin Booth was onto something. I mean, certainly the last three, ever since Jamal went down, I mean, I don't think that this is anything like crazy. But, you're without Jamal Murray for essentially 3.5 games. I'm not going to include that half game with Minnesota. You're 3-0. You're 3-0. And I understand that one of those wins was against the Utah Jazz, who were awful. But Toronto's a scrappy team. Yeah, it took them to the wire. But this win tonight, that's a signature win for the Denver Nuggets without two of their best players in Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon tonight. But just a lot to be happy about, man. Like I said, just about everybody made an impact. Zeke Naji got some run tonight. Hunter Tyson, like I said, 19 minutes. Strawther, 27 minutes. Strawther was great, I thought, especially towards the end. Started out a little bit rough for him. Only 1 of 7 from 3. So you want to see him work on getting some more shots up and just be a little bit more consistent from the field. But he was a plus 12 in the box plus minus. 9 points tonight on the night for Julian Strawther. He had 2 turnovers, but you want to see them clean up there as well. But just really good at kind of finding the momentum and finding and picking and choosing his spots in this Denver Nuggets offense. He had 6 assists in the game tonight, 5 rebounds as well, and was just kind of all over the place. Did a great job of kind of cutting to the basket, finishing in some contested shots. Only 3 of 11 from the field was Julian Strawther tonight. But again, his energy, I think, matched the energy that we saw from the Denver Nuggets throughout the course of that, second half in particular. I mean, really the whole game, but the second half, the third, the fourth quarter, where they really kicked it into gear. So it's one of those situations where, you did not, I don't think many people expected the Nuggets to come into this game, like I said, and win it outright as a 7-point underdog against the best team in the Western Conference. But the fact that they were able to do just that, despite the efficiency from Oklahoma City at sometimes, with the 3-point shot, whatever it might be, it's very early. It's very early, and I put out the tweet. Let's go ahead and read some of these responses. Let me pull these up on my phone real quick, because I was sitting here, and I waited until the end of the game to tweet this out. You guys, again, can follow me on social media at Media by AP, but I said, what does tonight's win say about the Denver Nuggets? And I thought we got some good responses. Heron says the kids are all right, 100%. Great reference as well to some good music there from Heron. And the kids are all right. And that's where, if you're Calvin Booth, I said it, a bunch in the last game against the Raptors. I think Calvin Booth sits somewhere up here on like the club level or up above in the suites, whatever it might be. He's probably sitting there with his arms crossed, smile with a little bit of a grin on his face, because tonight the youngsters, Peyton Watson, clinched the victory for Denver with a swat at the end of regulation. I mean, all of the youngsters that are, legitimate role players for this Denver Nuggets team. So we're talking about Christian Braun, we're talking about Peyton Watson, we're talking about Julian Strawther. All 3 of those guys tonight, and really for the last couple of games, have made a positive impact in some point or another. A couple more comments that we got here. Again, the question was, what does tonight's win say about the Denver Nuggets? Kind of leading into the Calvin Booth dynamic, that Calvin Booth's vision wasn't as blurry as people seem to think, ? They may still be a guy away, but maybe it's just one guy and not 2. I agree with that. Neil says CB might be the Nuggets' second most valuable player through the first 8 games. Tilo says Project Dynasty is alive and well. Michael say play the youngs, still have championship DNA. I agree with all of these takes. 100% I agree with all these takes. And anybody that is listening or watching live on YouTube, feel free to drop some comments and let me know how you guys are feeling after tonight's Denver Nuggets victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder, 124-122, your final score, as Denver improves to 5-3, 3-2 at home, and hands the Thunder their first loss of the season. Boom. I don't know if you could have heard that, but the shot clock just went off. Looks like there's going to be an adult pickup game of some sort after the fact. But man, dude, let's go. Pumped up pumped up here tonight to be at Ball Arena and talking Denver Nuggets basketball with you. Let me get this ad break out of the way so we can keep talking ball. We got to talk about Russell Westbrook. And tonight is exactly why you saw Nikola Jokic wanted Russell Westbrook. I don't know the entire lore behind it, but it seemed, I don't know if Calvin Booth was eyeing Russell Westbrook as much as Nikola Jokic was during the offseason, but we know that Jokic kind of pointed his finger and said, I want him on my team. Calvin Booth in the Nuggets front office goes out and secures him for Jokic and the rest of the team. And tonight, you saw exactly why Russell Westbrook was a critical signing for the Denver Nuggets and why they wanted him on this team. So let's hit a quick break. We'll come back and continue along with the conversation right here on your Locked On Nuggets Postcast. Stick with me, folks. Back in just a moment or two. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at Hims here real quick, guys, because guys, sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously. And when we want to be, and we always want to be ready. So when we can perform in the bedroom. Hims provides access to treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer, giving you that boost of confidence so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Your sex life is important, but your schedule is busy. You don't have time to go to the doctor's office to get treated for ED. Through Hims, you can get a personalized ED treatment without stepping foot outside of your door. Guys, ever feel like you need a little boost in the bedroom? It's time you stop worrying about your performance and get Hims so you can feel confident knowing you can get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits. Just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option for you. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's Hims, HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. Hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions, they do apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on product and subscription plans. Be sure to check out our friends over at Hims, guys. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everyone is doing well out there, man. What a way to kind of boost the mood. It's snowy out here in Colorado. Get the vibe right as Denver delivers with a big-time upset victory. When's the last time that we could say Denver had like a massive upset victory? I mean, they've been one of the best teams in the NBA for the last 3 or 4 years, right? So you're not accustomed to being a 7-point underdog very often. I do think that this line was worthy of being that tonight. Again, just being down a couple of starters. But when was the last time that Denver had a victory like this tonight when they were, a massive underdog, a home dog at that, and they come back and rally to take down arguably the best team in the Western Conference, certainly the best team in the Western Conference through the first handful of games so far this season. But I said we were going to talk about Russell Westbrook here, so why don't we go ahead and do that? We'll kind of lump Russ and Jokic in together because I talked about that meme that I saw going around on social media yesterday, or on Monday rather, after the game, where it's like Master Splinter, as a adult, what is he, a rat, I think he is, with like Peyton Watson and Christian Braun and Julian Strawther, all kind of by his side. And then like under it was like an older, elderly version of Master Splinter, with all of the, guys that were young in the previous picture, all grown up, kind of, helping him walk and all that. Not that I'm saying Jokic is washed by any stretch of the imagination. Russell Westbrook certainly didn't look washed tonight. But, like, I actually caught myself thinking about it. I watched Jokic take the ball up the court and kind of just start dishing and, this and that. And Strawther's running around with his hair bouncing all over the place. And Watson swatting balls. And Christian Braun's posted up in the corner. And I was like, you know what? Like, Joker's not a kid no more. And obviously that's been the case for quite some time, but like, it was the first time I feel like in a really long time, maybe ever in Nuggets history, or not in Nuggets history, but in the history of the Jokic era rather, that you saw the youth movement blending with Jokic's style of play. Because you had, Bruce Brown, you had KCP, you had Paul Millsap, all that kind of stuff. When Paul Millsap was here, that was Jokic, the young guy kind of setting the tone. Tonight, it was nice to see the youngsters kind of feed off of the energy that Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook were able to establish out there. And that was one of the big things for the game tonight. And I saw some quotes from Russell Westbrook throughout the course of the week, kind of talking about that mentorship role. And he talks about how that's one of like the joys of being at this stage in his career, kind of setting the tone, showing these young kids how to play the right way. And it's one of those situations where tonight you got a little bit of vintage Russell Westbrook, which I think was such a treat. And I think it also shows that this is a guy in Russ who has plenty of gas left in the tank, right? Like, it's one of those situations where, yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind for Russ ever since he left Oklahoma City, right? Didn't work out in Houston, didn't work out in Washington, didn't work out with the Lakers, didn't work out with the Clippers, right? Kind of looked at as maybe damaged goods across the NBA. I think that was kind of the vibe around Russ. And he comes into the Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets ecosystem. And again, no Jamal Murray tonight, but I think what you saw is that Russell Westbrook can still contribute at a pretty high level. Russ was great tonight, guys. His best game by far in a Denver Nuggets uniform. 29 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 of 4 from three-point land. Let me say that again. 3 of 4 from three-point land and 10 of 15 from the field. Look, when Jamal Murray comes back, Russ is going back to the bench. I get it. But I think you've got to try to figure out a way to get some Russ and Jokic minutes going on a more consistent basis. Because when you put those two together, man, they look pretty darn good tonight. And again, with no Aaron Gordon and no Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. being asleep at the wheel for the first half of the game, Russ and Joker, Russ turned back the clock and Joker was Joker. It was impressive. Straight up, it was impressive. That's the best way for me to say it. So I don't know how Malone, and I think like this is the other thing, right, is Malone's hand has been forced. He has to play the young guys. And I thought it was so funny. I think it was after the game on Monday where he was talking about, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, you don't have the luxury of being a championship contending team and being able to, go 10-11 deep. And then he kind of realized to himself, well, like, it is also November, right? Like, now's the time to kind of experiment a little bit and run your bench and not be so constricted to that 8 or 9 man rotation. And it's going to be very interesting when all of the key players, the starters, come back for the Denver Nuggets, because I think Peyton Watson has shown you significant strides. I think Julian Strawther is coming together. I think Christian Braun has obviously cemented himself in the starting lineup, but I don't think you have to be afraid of playing Peyton Watson. I don't think you have to be afraid of giving meaningful minutes to Julian Strawther. I think through this little stretch here of 3 games, they've shown you that with reps and live game action, they can become acclimated to the NBA in a pretty efficient manner. So I'd like to see more of these guys and give Jokic some time off. Get Jamal off the court. Get MPJ off the court, right? Like, keep your guys rested instead of kind of keeping your foot on the gas throughout the course of the game. But Nikola Jokic tonight, I mean, this guy had 10 assists in the first half, guys. 10 assists in the first half. Like, what? We're so spoiled watching Nikola Jokic on a game-in and game-out basis. He finishes with, just another triple-double, his 4th of the year, 23 points, 16 assists, 20 rebounds, 2-0 in the rebound department, 13 of which were defensive, 4 of 6 from the charity stripe, only 9 of 20 from the field, and 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. So not a big scoring night for Nikola Jokic. And I just can't believe that, when Michael Porter Jr. has 3 points in the first half and you don't have Jamal Murray out there and Russell Westbrook's running with the ones, that he has 10 assists in the first half. Like, how is that even possible? It's, obviously because of the motion and the cutting to the basket and all that kind of stuff. That's how it's possible. But it's also just one of the just best player in the world. I'm not going to go on my tangent with Jokic because he's just the best player in the world. There's like nothing else to say about that guy. 10 assists in the first half, 20 rebounds tonight. 20 rebounds. And he was getting fouled. I haven't even talked about that. Hack-a-Shaq. This dude, he gets no calls, this guy. And I understand that Denver won the free throw battle tonight, and Denver has way more free throw attempts this year compared to what they've had historically under Nikola Jokic. But I mean, it's like every play, damn near every play. Hack, 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 hack. No call, no call, no call, no call, no call. Like, could you imagine if Nikola Jokic just for like 1 or 2 games had the same type of foul calls that Joel Embiid gets? And I'm not trying to open up that can of worms, but I just had to bring it up. And also in the foul department, man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a little bit of James Harden in him. I hate to say it. He really does. I mean, he's baiting for fouls, and he gets them sometimes. Like I said, Denver was fine in the free throw department tonight, but I mean, just it's one of those situations where, to me, like, what does Jokic got to do to get on the same level as these other superstars when it comes to getting the foul call? I don't know what more he can possibly do. We've seen the scratches on his arms, so it is what it is. But, all right, let's hit our final break. When we come back, we'll get ready to put a bow on the show, go over some closing thoughts. I've just been kind of shooting from the hip tonight because this was just such an epic game. Like, usually I try to go, starters, bench, big takeaway, this and that. I think that this is just one of those games that emotionally was – what's the right word to describe this game? It was abstract. Very abstract, like unconventional for the Denver Nuggets, like probably the most unconventional win that I can remember from them since like not since like the 7, but you're just so used to a templated Nugget victory, right? Maybe get cold, get hot in the first half. MPJ does his thing, Jokic triple double, boom boom. Some of that which did happen, but to see the new cast of characters be the reason for Denver to win this game against Oklahoma City, I think is just very encouraging. Strawther, Braun, Watson, Westbrook, all contributing for the Denver Nuggets tonight in their win. So, okay, let's hit a quick break. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show, go over some closing thoughts right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Really appreciate you guys rocking with me. Back in just a moment or two. Which read Built. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at Built real quick. First time I'm doing this one. All right, guys, and let me tell you about our friends here. Where's the script? Hold on. Sorry. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in the loop of rent payments? Boy, I know I do. Just watching your money vanish into thin air, it's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Built Rewards comes in. Okay, real talk. We've all been there feeling like we're burning cash with those rent checks. It's frustrating, right? But here's the deal. Built Rewards has figured out a way to make rent more rewarding. Say goodbye to the money and the bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or a hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. You can also use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards a future rent payment, and they're designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay your rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Point Guys and Bank Rate. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Join built.com, again, BILT.com/LockedOnNBA to start earning points with your rent payment today. And one more here real quick. Let me tell you about our friends over at Game Time, guys. If you're not getting, I do this read every time, and I'm a big believer in Game Time. So if you're not getting your tickets through Game Time, there were some empty seats here tonight at Ball Arena, likely because of the snow and the inclement weather. I will also wonder if it's still snowing by the time I get out there. But if you're not getting your tickets through Game Time, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Let me tell you about Game Time Picks, where curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. Their all-in pricing feature is my personal favorite feature. When you toggle this on the app or on the website, it shows you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, and the lowest ticket price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code Locked On Nuggets for $20 off your first purchase. Terms they do apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code Locked On Nuggets for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Hey, shout out to my guy, Jeff Morton, man. Welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro, broadcasting live. I feel like I'm, Jeff says Aniello Piro, man with the best beard in the game. I appreciate it. I also feel like I'm looking a little bit like Mickey from Rocky 2 with whatever you want to call this, the skull cap beanie. It's freezing out. But Locked On Nuggets postcast, AP. You can follow me on social at Media by AP. Make sure to subscribe to your Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never, ever miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets, Buffs, Broncos, and Rockies postcast, all hosted by yours truly. And also, for any of the Nuggets fans that are living here locally in and around the Denver metro area, come on out to number 38 on Friday for a Stiffs night out. We're going to have a little Denver Stiffs night out at number 38 in Rhino. I'll be there with my guy, Zach Mikosh. Jeff, you coming, Jeff? Let me know. You and I, we got to get a drink soon either way. And so it's one of those situations where you got to come on out because the food is great, the drinks are great, and it's going to be an awesome time watching the Denver Nuggets game on Friday. But, all right, let's continue along here. A couple of minutes left before we wrap up. Just kind of in closing, Michael Porter Jr. had 3 points there in the first half and ends up finishing with 24 points. I mean, he was like a minus 11 at one point I saw in the box plus minus. He finishes with a plus 4, and he was just raining threes in the second half. I think he had all three. Well, it would make sense, right? All 3 of his points in the first half came on a 3-point attempt. He finishes 6 of 10 from beyond the arc, 7 of 16 from the field, and led the Denver Nuggets in minutes played tonight with 41. That's impressive. 7 rebounds, 3 assists for MPJ, doing some good stuff and a steal. And I was ready to get on here and rip MPJ if the second half went any similar to how the first half went for MPJ. Because when you don't have Jamal Murray, when you don't have Aaron Gordon, and when Christian Braun is still finding his own as a starter, and you're a max contract player, you have got to step up. And 3 points was just inexcusable in the first half, especially when Nikola Jokic had 10 assists in the game, in the first half, rather. And it's one of those situations where the fact that Michael Porter Jr. was able to lock in the second half and deliver big 3 after big 3 after big 3, some clutch passes along the way, that is exactly why you're a max contract player. You'd like to see the consistency with MPJ. If Michael Porter Jr. can be more consistent with his shooting, we know the peaks, we know the valleys. We know the peaks are, as high as Mount Everest, right? But we also know the valleys are like being in the, bottom of the ocean. You got to figure out a way to stabilize your game if you're Michael Porter Jr. But again, can't really complain tonight because when the lights were the brightest, he stepped up and helped close out this game for the Denver Nuggets for sure. So, all in all, man, Christian Braun continues to do his thing. 24 points tonight, a season high for him. Russell Westbrook, as I mentioned, 29 points. This is now back-to-back games with 20-plus points for Russell Westbrook. He did not do that at all last season. So clearly the Russ and Nuggets experiment is starting to work out, especially with Russ finding himself in the starting lineup and playing some of those minutes with the starters. Peyton Watson, 10 points. MPJ, as I said, 24 points. Joker, 23 points. Bench was whatever. Strawther led the bench with 9 points as well. But all in all, man, a good night for Denver as they shoot 42% from 3. That's a key figure, and 47% from the field. So nearly 50% from the field and 42% from beyond the arc. Couple of other stats that we can throw out there before we get out of here. 16 for 38 was Denver's mark from beyond the arc. They out-rebounded Oklahoma City tonight, 55-47. That was huge. Their 34 assists were more than Oklahoma City's 29 assists. And total turnovers, they did turn the ball over more here tonight. But thankfully, they were able to kind of clamp down there when it was all said and done. Where is my free throw? Yeah, Denver got to the line 33, or they were 24 for 33 tonight compared to Oklahoma's 18 for 23. So despite the Jokic hack-a-shack dynamic, they did a good job of continuing to assert their physicality and getting some calls and getting to the charity stripe and allowing them to, get some of those buckets. And you saw in the first half as well, kind of slowing the pace down a little bit. getting a little bit methodical with their sets on offense in the first half. And then on the second half, it was the complete opposite. Pace, running up and down and keeping the pressure on Oklahoma City. So a win is a win. Whichever way you slice it, man, that is the best victory of the season for the Denver Nuggets as they take down the Oklahoma City Thunder 124-122. Whew. All right. Get some caffeine in me, man. It's been a week. And that is just an incredible way to keep the week rolling here tonight with the Denver Nuggets victory. But that is going to do it for me, folks. Really appreciate you guys tuning in with me here tonight on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way you guys never miss an episode, and drop a like on this video as well. It really helps me out as I'm building this channel up brick by brick. Join us at number 38 on Friday. I'll be doing the post-game show live on the stage as well. We'll have a pregame show with myself and Zach Mikosh. We'll have a good time at number 38 and cheer on those Denver Nuggets. I'll also be there on Saturday for the Buff game, so make sure to come on down. But you can follow me on social media at Media by AP. And that is all she wrote here tonight, folks. The Denver Nuggets winning 124-122. Best win of the season. Upset victory. 7-point underdog. Taking down the Oklahoma City Thunder for their third straight dub. You love to see it. And appreciate all of the support and help and love that you guys have shown here on the channel. Enjoy your Wednesday night. And we'll talk to you guys on Friday evening. Have a good one, folks.